Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the Slothz Tech team for the final time in Season 2, and big changes on the way in Season 3. Say goodbye to that green and purple car. That's all I'm going to say for now. We're on to the final race in Brazil. It's a sprint race, and due to the fact that I just wanted to have some fun, I actually manually did practice myself. So we're actually going to get straight on with the starting grid in just a moment. But for now, though, just doing some final touches here, jumping into the R&D screen just to see if there's anything else that we can get before the end of the season. You can see where we are in aero right now. We're going to be very good in that next season. And so we're on to the starting grid, so don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, as we've got the sprint order up ahead right now with Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso going head-to-head for the championship on the front row, followed by Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. Behind them, Lando Norris and Sergio Perez. Then we have George Russell and Lewis Hamilton in the two Mercedes lining up on the penultimate row of the top 10, followed by Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll. Behind them in P11 and 12, we have me. I didn't qualify too well here. I'm alongside Pierre Gasly. And then behind us, we have Alex Albon, who starts alongside the lead Haas of Kevin Magnussen. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda. He's alongside our teammate Teo Paul Scher in 15th and 16th, followed by Daniel Ricciardo and Zhou Guanyu, who's had a good qualifying out in Brazil. Then we have Oscar Piastri in the other Haas alongside Mick Schumacher, which means that once again on the back row, it's Nicholas Latifi and Robert Schwartzman. Well, here we go then with the sprint race. It's only going to be a quick one because not much happened in the 6 laps that we have here, but it is a showdown at the front for the championship. Fernando Alonso and Charles Leclerc going head-to-head, but we go head-to-head into turn 1 against Kevin Magnussen. We win out that duel and try to get up the inside of the two Alpines. We successfully do that, and Pierre Gasly, who started behind us one position, is actually already up to 9th, so he's had a great start to this sprint race. Esteban Ocon trying to go around the inside, not successfully. Up ahead we got Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez having a little bit of a spat there, but our race is, for the time being, solely with Pierre Gasly, as in a moment we'll start losing the field as we dive down the inside of the AlphaTauri and take P9 off him. Now 2 places up for us since the start of the race, just improving our position for the actual starting grid of the race. But you can see already that actually we're struggling through a few of these sectors here as the Mercedes and the train of leaders ahead of us start to pull out a lead. Here we are actually on the final lap now because not much was going on. Pierre Gasly makes a dive up the inside, but we've managed to cover him off, at least for the time being. As we come round onto the DRS straight, he will be trying his best to catch up to us as quickly as possible. It looks as though Esteban Ocon's going to have a go around the outside as well, that we managed to hold on. We'd take the Max Verstappen line off the edge of the circuit there, but we have held on just about on the end there, and with a few twisty corners to go, we may have actually secured P9 for us here. Anyway, this is the final race of the season. Whilst we're driving around here, we're going to be heading into Season 3. There'll be no more audio issues. Hopefully by that point my voice will sound fine again with the COVID has left my body. I've actually just recorded this in the past 3 races in the last 2 days, so everything will sound a bit nasally. And yeah, good things on the way, some mods as well. As we come down towards the finish line, we've got Pierre Gasly going for the outside, but he just about misses out there on P9, and we will start ahead of him at the start of the Grand Prix, right after we find out Charles Leclerc managed to get driver of the day. And now we'll quickly have a look at the race results here. There we go, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz were on the podium, but that doesn't matter because it is now time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. So here we go then with the official starting grid, and once again don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And we see that Charles Leclerc once again starts on pole position, but this time he's joined by Lando Norris, followed by Lewis Hamilton, who's moved up to P3, and Sergio Perez in P4. George Russell starts P5, and we're actually now in P6, which means there's been some penalties. Pierre Gasly up into P7 alongside Esteban Ocon, and rounding out the top 10 we have Fernando Alonso with a penalty and Lance Stroll, who starts pretty much where he was before. Carlos Sainz, another driver with a penalty, starts alongside Max Verstappen, who also has a penalty, and that should be all of the leaders. Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher start behind them. Schumacher, I think, jumping his teammate, as does Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon. Behind them we have Yuki Tsunoda and our teammate Théo Pourchaire, who I believe did drop down the order slightly there. Nicholas Latifi moves up to the penultimate row alongside Zhou Guanyu, and finally it is Kevin Magnussen and Robert Schwartzman. And here we go then, for the final time in F1 22 Season 2, it's Charles Leclerc versus Fernando Alonso. Alonso down 8 positions from the lead. 7 positions from where he started. As we go into turn 1, we got the Mercedes both fighting Sergio Perez up ahead. We've got Pierre Gasly trying to go all the way around this as we completely cock up turn 2 there and get all over the curb. We've got a bit of a vulnerability behind us from Pierre Gasly. Up ahead though, the reason why the Red Bull was causing so much strife with the Mercedes is that Perez is running the medium tyre for the first stint. And, well, everyone behind him is, of course, much, much faster. As we come up to this great overtaking spot, we go down the inside of the 7-time world champion and take P5 away from him. Up next, we've got Sergio Perez, as I mentioned, on the medium tyre, which means that this is going to be absolute child's play. And without the DRS, we've managed to get right up to the back of him already. Up ahead, Charles Leclerc will be looking to pull as much distance between him and Fernando Alonso as possible, and he looks to be succeeding. Having looked down at the mini-map, we've actually got a Red Bull in the pit. Max Verstappen has stopped early, perhaps with some damage from the midfield. Something I didn't actually notice in the race, considering even though he is actually up the top, kind of in contention. I don't think he can win, but he can definitely do well here. Anyway, down the inside of Sergio Perez we go. And next up, we've got George Russell, who was slippery enough to get away from us in the sprint race. Lando Norris has set the fastest lap on the end of lap 3. On to lap 4 we go. We've got DRS. George Russell does not have the DRS from the cars ahead of him and is now vulnerable as we come round onto the first DRS strip. And we're going to go to the inside of the Mercedes. He doesn't fight us as much as Hamilton. Late on the brakes, and we get round nicely, taking a slightly tighter Verstappen line across the curb. 2 seconds then up the road, Lando Norris battles away with Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris actually missed out due to some poor results a few races ago on actually getting a world championship. So he's just doing this to defend Fernando Alonso's honour. Not that Fernando Alonso is helping matters, being all the way down in P13. Anyway, into the pits we go. Lando Norris has already come in. And Charles Leclerc, also has already come in. He's a couple of cars ahead of Lando Norris right now as they try and get their way through the midfield, who haven't stopped yet. Zhou Guanyu once again causing issues by the looks of things for Charles Leclerc as we get a nice clean stop and we're away. There's our teammate going through. He will be leaving the team at the end of the season. So I'm sorry to say, much like our first teammate in F1 2021, who I actually can't remember who it is, we will be getting a new teammate at the end of this season. And thank God it's not Sean Gelael again, even though he did nearly win a race in Season 3 of F1 2021. And, well, he might have even got a 1-2 with us, I believe. Maybe we came close, I'm not sure. Anyway, lap 14. Here we are, Lando Norris up ahead. Charles Leclerc still within DRS range. He cannot shake the McLaren. It is a very, very strong car. We'll have a look at the performance indexes probably next Tuesday or Thursday when the other video's uploaded. See where everyone is. Norris goes defensive, but we go up the inside into turn 3. And now it is a straight fight between us and Charles Leclerc. The Ferrari so far has been a very strong car on the performance graphs, but has not actually managed to fight us too well on track. In fact, it's succumbed to our speed on more than one occasion when fighting with Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. And you can see just how quickly we're gaining on him there as we come down towards turn 1. Charles Leclerc positions his car really nicely, actually. That was a little cheeky as we tried to get up the inside there. He did cut across again and stop us from going down that route, but he's not going to be able to defend from this as we come down towards turn 3. And he goes, oh, he's knocked us off the circuit, the bastard! He pushes us onto the grass. We saw a similar move from Justin Freshpot when we were racing at Williams in the co-op career. Thankfully, on this occasion, we didn't go blasting into the side of his car when hitting the brakes, but that was a trip down memory lane on that occasion. Anyway, now we've got 1 lap to go. This is for a win and a back-to-back win for us, which is something that I've not achieved, particularly on this game. I can't remember about F1 2021. It's so long ago now. As we come down, we're going to try the same move again, but up the inside into the same corner. Charles Leclerc's fighting it. And we take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We take the Max Verstappen line over the curb. And now it's just a straight fight for the finish. The traffic light colour scheme we've got going on has been disrupted again. The green, red, amber. Unless you're colourblind, that is not how it looks. So I have ruined the order. But we are continuing on anyway in first position. Behind us, Charles Leclerc drops to nearly a second behind, unless we've got damage. And, well, from that incident earlier with hitting Leclerc. And he's able to close up. I mean, he's not really, is he? He's still 6 tenths back. Oh, he did there. He did gain a little bit out of the final official corner, but it's not enough. As we come down towards the finish line, we cross the line in first position. We get back-to-back wins. With our second one here in Brazil. In fact, our second win of the season, our second win of all time, and it's a back-to-back win. We get driver of the day again, which is probably the main thing that we've gotten all season. In fact, I'd have won the championship if we got points for driver of the day. Charles Leclerc, though, will pick up Drivers' Championship as Fernando Alonso was unable to finish ahead of him. And reliability of the McLaren has ultimately cost him a Drivers' Championship. He will get another chance. We do have Season 3 coming. He might be able to do something. But it's looking bleak for Fernando Alonso. We'll just have to see. Anyway, for now, let's get on with the race results. So Charles Leclerc matches us for the weekend point tally with 26 points. We're followed by Lando Norris, George Russell, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, and Lance Stroll all scoring points. And this is the final Drivers' Championship result. Charles Leclerc wins by 41 points over Fernando Alonso. Lando Norris ties with Max Verstappen for third. Then we have George Russell. Then we move up to sixth, ahead of Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, and Esteban Ocon. Further down the order, we have Lance Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, Nicolas Latifi, and Oscar Piastri rounding out the point scorers, with Teo Pourchaire, Robert Schwartzman, Mick Schumacher, and Zhou Guanyu with 0 points. And over in the constructors, McLaren did outdo Ferrari in the end, as well as Red Bull. They're followed by Mercedes, Slothz, Alpine, AlphaTauri, Williams, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Aston Martin. That's all for now. We'll catch you next time in Bahrain.